The Lucas Oil Motorsports Hour is brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs with Diamond Fire Technology. You're watching the Rockstar Energy Drink Arkansas Sprint Nationals presented by Geico. And before we get the A main started, we thought you'd like to see some highlights from the pole dash, which determines the starting positions for the front three rows.
Yeah, we had the top three in each of the preliminary nights locked in. They would run a dash. Chad Kemenoff would say hi to one of the tractor tires, some front end damage, so they would have to go to work. But when it was all said and done, the former All-Star champion Greg Wilson would get the win in the great starting spot.
Nice trophy to go along with that. And of course, now he's in his race car ready to go. Here's your K&N starting grid. Greg Wilson on the pole. Brandon Wimmer on the outside. Sammy Swindell, Brad Sweet in row 2. Sam Haverteef Jr. and Chad Kemenoff fill out row 3.
We go to the inside of row number 4. Brian Brown alongside Jason Sides. Brady Bacon and Jeff Swindell will make up row number 5. Justin Carver and the 3-time national champ Crawley will start 12th.
Row number 7 will be Tim Schaefer on the inside and Tim Kading, Cody Gardner and David Gravel. In row 8, row 9, Ricky Logan and Marshall Skinner.
We go back to row number 10. On the inside will be Dustin Morgan. To the outside, the Mississippi Missile, Jan Howard and Zach Pringle all alone in row number 11.
By the way, Zach Pringle given that position, the 21st starting position, it was awarded to him. He is the I-30 Speedway track champion. He was hoping he could race his way in, but used the one and only provisional that is here. So the A main consists of 30 laps, $15,000 to the winner. We are racing at the 23rd Annual Short Track Nationals.
Brandon Wimmer in the blue 7TW has trouble off turn 2. Chad Kemenoff, Brian Brown, the 99, Brady Bacon, and it looks like Marshall Skinner in the 26 gets upside down, so red lights come on early.
And Skinner really late. I mean, as they were trying to avoid that wreck that involved Brian Brown, Brady Bacon, and Chad Kemenoff. Of course, Marshall Skinner just doing everything he could do to stay out of the wreck, and unfortunately, I think he took the brunt of it.
Yeah, he got upside down. He was really the only car that had a lot of damage. You can see the right rear is down on Brian Brown's 21. Here's another look at it. Chad Kemenoff just gets loose right in front of the field. Everybody checks up, and Skinner has nowhere to go.
We'll check in with Dave Argerbright, who's all over the scene. Dave?
Well, quite a bit of chaos here in the crash area. Brian Brown, as you see there, with a flat right rear. The 6 car of Chad Kemenoff, tough break for him. You can see the right front corner of that race car is bent. Now, that's not a quick fix, not like a quick change of the tire. So Chad is going to go pit side. They hope maybe they have time to change an axle, but that's going to be a tough one. In the meantime, Brady Bacon has pushed back toward the pit area in that 99 and hopes to rejoin. To the outside there, Marshall Skinner did a soft, quick rollover. They may be able to replace that top wing and get him back going. Doesn't look as though it's a seriously damaged car, but a little bit of early carnage in the opening laps here at the Short Track Nationals.
That's the top wing and the front wing, and ironically enough, the one that looked like was the worst might be the best one of the bunch.
Yeah, we had a nice little ride there with Tim Schaefer. This is out of the back of Ricky Logan's car, so yeah, Skinner might just be able to fix that top wing and continue on.
Push off Brian Brown. Looks like he has that rear tire fixed. So, okay, so that's the least damage caused. Flat tire, fix that one, gone away. Now, hopefully, Skinner can get those wings replaced and get back out here as well.
Yeah, complete restart now as no lap has been scored. We don't count yellows, so Greg Wilson put back onto the pole. Brandon Wimmer outside row number 1. We'll try this once again.
And Greg Wilson gets him off to a good start. The 7TW, Brandon Wimmer, one of the rookies here. The 1S, Sammy Swindell, of course. And Swindell has been doing this for a long, long time. 7 Short Track National feature starts.
Brad Sweet there in the 49 car trying to get caught up to the 15 of Sam Haverteef Jr. Sweet and Haverteef, the 2 guys that won the preliminary nights. It was their first career ASCS national win. So if they could cap that off with the Short Track Nationals A-main win, it'd be a pretty good weekend for each of them.
Oh yeah, needless to say. Battle for 11th, Tim Kading, Tim Crawley, both going at it. Kading with the 29. You can see actually the Tweedbird on top. There's the 88 of Crawley, and Crawley has been smoking hot as of late. Has definitely been on fire.
Ricky Logan there, courtesy of Rockstar. Off the left side, the top of the frame rail, looking back on the battle for 11th. There is Crawley as we go on board with him. Looking back at the driver as well as over the left rear. You can see him sawing on the wheel.
More importantly, you can hear how long they are out of the throttle. Yeah, pitch it in sideways so it doesn't run into him, but out of the throttle for a long time in those turns. It looks like Crawley's got something for him. It's just finding a lane to get around him.
Greg Wilson still out in front from Benton Ridge, Ohio, former All-Star champion. We go back to the battle for second. Sammy Swindell in the 1S trying to catch Brandon Wimmer in the 7TW.
Sammy Swindell, who had a heck of a run at the 50th running of the Knoxville Nationals as well. Everybody thought he was going to win it. Unfortunately, a flat tire ended his run right towards the end of the race. He would love to win this one here after some 20 years as well. As you take a look at Greg Wilson, the W20 in his 6th short track nationals, 16 career Lucas Oil ASCS national feature starts.
To the inside of Dustin Morgan to put him one lap down as we go back to the big game tree stands. Number 1 of Sammy Swindell, Germantown, Tennessee driver. 20 years ago tonight, he won his lone short track nationals. Brad Sweet in the 49, Jason Sides in the 7S, and Justin Carver in the 24. That's for 5th.
Jason Sides, also just a real big name, a lot of success. Has a win here, 2 top 5s in 6 short track national starts, 3 top 10s. The win came in 2001, finished 3rd in 98, 6th in 2002.
You go back to Jeff Swindell, of course, brother of Sammy Swindell, on board with Tim Schaefer, courtesy of K&N, looking at the 90 car in front of him of Jeff Swindell. Makes it look easy.
So far, the racetrack looking pretty decent here. We'll find out how things change, but they're still stuck right down on the bottom.
Yeah, not seeing a lot of smoke off the right rear. We caught a little bit of smoke off the one there of Sammy Swindell as he's driving it pretty hard to try and get by Brandon Wimmer. Oh, and almost get into Brandon Wimmer. Swindell spins in turns 1 and 2, 360. He'll continue on, but he will lose a handful of spots. Wow, you don't see that very often, and he could do it again. He does. This time he collects Justin Carver.
And still keeps it going the wrong direction at the racetrack.
2 other cars come to a stop. It looks like Jan Howard in the 46, the 10A of Ricky Logan. We said Sammy Swindell involved in the yellow, collecting the 24 of Justin Carver, so 4 total cars charged here in this caution flag.
A few flames coming out of Jan's car, and now here comes Sammy Swindell. And Sammy Swindell leaning on the 7 right there, Brandon Wimmer, as if Wimmer did something wrong. Wimmer did absolutely nothing wrong. He was maintaining his line for starters. Again, Sammy spins it out on the back on the return road there. But Wimmer literally holding his line, and Sammy Swindell wasn't even all the way up beside him.
So Brandon Wimmer now back onto the racetrack, should retain his spot in the restart. Sammy still rolling around back in the pit area. Obviously very upset. Let's take another look at how this whole thing started.
There's Wimmer, and Sammy down there underneath him, and Wimmer just really held his line. I mean, if anything, it looked like Sammy needed to check up a little bit.
Yeah, so he gets spun around, obviously upset at this point, still on the gas. Brad Sweet gets by him, a couple other cars. Gets down into turn number 4, loops it out, collects Justin Carver.
Yeah, and that time, I mean, that was just Sammy absolutely making a mistake all by himself. He spun it out there, and then, of course, caused some more damage to 2 or 3 other cars.
Some crazy mayhem here early at the Short Track Nationals. And
full moon out here or what?
I don't know. We go on board with Ricky Logan. He was trying to not hit Sammy Swindell. In the process, spins out, comes to a stop, collects Jan Howard. And then here's a look again at Swindell going down to argue with Brandon Wimmer, who thinks, what are you doing?
It's like, man, I missed you the first time you ran into me, and now you're trying to run into me again. I will tell you this, though, from the driver's perspective, it always looks a little different. So Sammy quite possibly thought so. Stay with us. We'll have more action ahead.